to participate in this tournament. I really didn't have the familiarity with the theme of the conference. I just have known Frank for God since he was a baby, and coaching at Miami High, he, with a whistle, and I got a lot of respect for him, and got a lot of respect for the program by being from that general area. But as time moved on, and it was brought to my attention the emphasis placed on this tournament, I became more and more excited. I'm hoping that there's something that we can do or say that will help move the needle in terms of the climate that we're dealing with now in America. We have a tendency to all have personal opinions about issues, and I've never been one to want to say exactly how I personally feel on Pacific issues. However, I do believe that there needs to be conversation. There needs to be a clear understanding of the history of these types of issues, and look around the world and see how the negative effects of people not being able to get along with one another and allowing our selfish motives to overtake good sound judgment and reasoning. That's why I always encourage dialogue, communication, understanding, patience. Always go by the rule that I learned as a kid at Mount Zion Baptist Church in Gastonia, North Carolina, on the corner of Morrison and Allison, where everybody's somebody and Christ is all. I always learn how to just treat everybody right, do unto others as I would have them do unto you. I think we, as it relates to racism, it's hard to believe that we kind of get ourselves in a frame of mind where we dislike or disrespect one another without even actually knowing each other. I mean, how can I form an opinion about you when I don't really know you? But this is not something new. Society all over the world, when you look back at the history of a lot of different countries, we've had these types of conflicts. And when you really, really do your research, you'll find that none of it really turns out very well. So I'm glad to participate. I don't want to be someone to instigate or motivate or bring a negative light. I'm not trying to make anyone feel some kind of way about who they are and what they should and should not be doing. I want to encourage people to have dialogue, communication, and have a clear understanding there's enough of this good life that we have in America for all of us. We can share the water, we can share the air, we can share the sunshine, and we should be able to share relationships. Now I'll turn it over to Frank. I know he got plenty to say.
Just like Coach Ham just said, the original thought when this was put in front of me was the great people of Rock Hill that have built this facility, a facility that's opening the doors up for so many young people in our state, to then be able to bring the state school in there to play. And I remember telling the people, the folks that organized everything, I said, I want to play. If you want me to play, I need to play a good opponent. And then they called me and said, Florida State. And I said, are you kidding me? They're probably the best ACC team in the last 4 or 5 years. And like Coach Ham said, by the way, there's not a coach in America that gets less credit for the person that he is in Leonard Hamilton. The amount of people that he has helped, white, black, Hispanic, it makes no difference. To open doors to help them grow as human beings. I'm a living example. I mean, I was a 22, 23-year-old high school assistant coach that knew nothing about nothing. And he let me into his office and showed me what it's like to be in a college basketball office. No one else ever did that for me. And you know, and I've learned. So now then we're part of the event, and Ham told me, and Stan Jones, his assistant, who's a dear friend, and Charlton Young, the reason I'm in college basketball right now. Charlton CY is who opened the door for me by getting his former boss at Northeastern to hire me. Once we spoke and we agreed to play, I also found out the purpose of putting the event together and the Friendship Nine, and obviously being in the state, I understand the history a little bit. But what's funny is growing up as a Cuban kid in Miami, I didn't understand a lot of these challenges that this country had in its history. And without him knowing, and it's not like he was running around talking, you just heard him negatively about his experiences as a man growing up. On the contrary, he spoke about the challenges that he had growing up, but the love that he had for everything in front of him. I learned a lot about the history of what happened back in the day from Coach Ham. I mean, he lived it. He felt it. He saw it, and he was willing to share some of that with me, unbeknownst that in 2021, now, you know, I'm going to live in the pocket of the world where he grew up in, and we're playing in this event for such a great cause. And just like Coach Ham said, I'm a true believer that anytime you work to make progress, the second you stop working, you go back further than where you started at. And it's so important that you continue to make progress, to grow away from the challenges that make people's lives complicated. And the fact, just like he articulated, that we get to share all the resources that allows us to live life. How can we then not appreciate and respect each other's space, and until we get to know one another? But it's going to be a great event. I can't thank Coach Ham enough for agreeing to come up to bring Florida State into South Carolina and to play and you know, in a great event that's for such a great cause. And I'm super excited. And again, I hope that all you folks that are covering this event, I hope you guys give Coach Ham the credit that he deserves, because you hear, another friend of mine, Bob Huggins, everyone's talking about he should be in the Hall of Fame. Leonard Hamilton deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. And what he does for this sport, for people, there's a guy that I've become friends with that I saw him save his life, period. Kevin Norris. It's and like that, there's numerous stories. So it's going to be an honor to take the court next to Coach Ham, and it's not going to be fun for me from a coaching perspective, but I know my team will be a lot better after the game because of the kind of basketball that his teams play.